everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this video is about the worst fan experiences I've ever experienced or ever had. I just have Shelly over here just chilling with me, so just ignore her, whatever she's doing. Yes, I have 3 occasions where I've had some weird experiences from fans. This is the first time she's gonna hear these stories as well too. I have plenty, but I know that the first 3 stories I'm gonna talk about are super long. I don't want this video to last 45 minutes.
In the background.
So the first weird fan experience I ever had, I had a DM from a young sunflower. I replied to her a few times. She was like, hey, I love your videos, I'm such a huge fan, I made some edits of you, etc, etc. So of course I replied back to her just saying like, thank you so much for your support. And one day she left me a message that was a bit scary, and as you guys know, like, I do like to help you guys with mental health, but it really does affect me because I'm so sensitive when people are like, if you don't reply, I'm gonna kill myself. And sometimes I'll get DMs from people like showing me photos of their sliced wrists, and they'll be like, this is what you did to me, like, you don't reply, you don't have the time to care about your sunflowers. A lot of the time I'll have, you know, some people saying like, oh, you don't even care, look what you made me do. And it's really emotionally like manipulative. I've made several videos asking people, please do not send me self-harm, it really affects me. She sent me a DM saying that if I don't reply she was gonna kill herself, and I hadn't seen this DM, and of course if I had seen it I might have replied and be like, hey, stay strong. And sometimes I try to ignore them because I don't want them to think the only way for me to reply is for them to threaten their lives. And I got a DM a few like weeks or a few days later from her mom, and her mother messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey, this girl, blah blah blah, her name, she killed herself because of you. And she said, oh, she pretty much just said to me, it's a shame because all she wanted was a reply. She kept saying like, oh, it's a shame because all she wanted was a reply from her favorite YouTuber. I cried because I was really like upset. I felt super guilty. It hurt me emotionally. Ever since then, like, I kind of avoided my DMs because it really affected how the rest of my day went. So I tried to follow her mom, but her mom didn't accept my follow request. So I used a fake account to follow her mom. Her mom accepted that request, and I went through the account and I realized that her mom wasn't her mom. And so, right? And I saw photos of them, I saw photos, like, it was like a spam account. It was basically the girl's spam account. And I saw edits of me on there, and I knew instantly this was the same girl saying if I didn't reply that she would kill herself. And then she stopped posting on her main account, changed her spam account name into like her mom's name or something, and then talked to me through her mom's account. Of course she didn't accept my follow request, her mom, because then I would have seen that that wasn't actually her mom. Anyways, I just kind of let the situation be. I didn't want to confront her. I could tell she was obviously going through a lot to have to fake that. Almost half a year later, the account that messaged me saying, oh, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't reply, she changed her username and she put herself back on public and started posting again. And I hadn't forgotten the situation. So I found that account through my DMs from months ago. I clicked on it and I realized she obviously wasn't dead. And so all I did was follow her back, and suddenly within seconds she blocked me, which was proof that she pretended to be dead to get my attention or to make me feel bad, which is so fucked up because I'm out here to help you guys, and in return, like, people like guilt trip me into like having to reply to them. And honestly, after that I hadn't opened my DMs in about like a year and a half. It was so long that I just spent like not opening any of my DMs because that had affected me so much to find out that it was entirely fake.
Like her dad inboxes you.
And if she really did care for me because I'm her favorite YouTuber, then she wouldn't want to make this fake death to guilt trip me into replying. So that was really messed up.
You started saying that story and I was like, oh my god. And then you're like, it was fake.
It was
fake,
I
was like, what?
Right? Yes. So the second story I have is a bit weird. I'm gonna call this girl, I need a nickname. Think of a Simpson.
Helga.
Oh no, we got a Helga on our thing.
Simpsons. Ralph.
What's
Marge.
Reverend Lovejoy's wife's name? Think of the kid.
Come on, somebody please think of
Helen.
the children. Helen Lovejoy.
Okay. Helen Lovejoy. Okay. So this girl named, we're gonna call her Helen.
Lovejoy.
No, she's not even like that type of personality. So basically, I had this girl named Helen send me a bunch of stuff. She sent me a huge box of clothes and like accessories, etc. And she had wrote in a little letter that I posted it on my YouTube channel saying, oh, I don't really want you guys to like dig back, but in the letter she said, feel free to sell any of the clothes on your Depop that don't fit you. And I was like, cool, that's really nice. And nobody to this day has ever sent me a box of clothes and said, you're welcome to sell these on the store if none of them fit you. And shortly after, I went on holiday with a YouTuber and we had a good time, etc, etc. And when I came back home, I saw a USB sitting on my table and I remembered that it came from that box from Helen. And I plugged it into my laptop and I realized that it came with a little video saying like, watch me or something. I double click it, it was like a 6-minute video. I'm gonna put some inserts throughout this video.
I've been watching your videos for a really long time now. I've been friends with YouTubers.
But yeah, the gist of the video was saying that she had a relationship with this guy. She was promised things. He gave her chlamydia. She was a little bit bitter that he gave me so much attention.
I started out as a fan and then I eventually started helping him with some art stuff. I talk to him probably every day. I put in a lot of time, energy, and effort with him. One day we were talking on Skype and he was on my Twitter and he saw that I had retweeted a bunch of stuff and he asked me, oh, who's Anna? I was watching you and you now and you were talking about him and how I followed you. I'm not gonna lie, it made me a little bit jealous. And me and Jason have been fighting a lot lately because I've been getting irritated at him. It's stupid of me to place like all my time and energy and effort into one person.
And that he was gonna take her on holiday, etc, etc.
I was supposed to come along with him to Bali. I just want to be your friend.
So the video was kind of telling me that she was a little bit upset with how things worked out between him and I because she had strong feelings for him. And so instantly when I saw the video, I got her Instagram in the video and I messaged her back because he was asleep and so I couldn't talk to him. And so I messaged her back and I apologized and I said, I'm so sorry you went through this, whatever she explained to me. And I sent her a message saying, by the way, I went on holiday with him before I saw this USB. I didn't want my sunflower to think I saw the USB video and still went on that holiday out of spite and didn't like even feel the need to like explain some things to her because I didn't want to like lose any sunflowers. But she responds back to me instantly and she's like, oh, I'm so glad you understand, and she was being really, really sweet. I messaged the YouTuber and I asked him what was going on and he gives me a different side of the story. He met up with this girl, she did some work for him, they slept together but she had a boyfriend or she was seeing someone else and it ended pretty quickly after that. He told me that she was very clingy, that she thought something bigger was happening than what was actually happening, and at first I was like, wow, this is just a shit situation. Like, she thought that something more was happening with him and her when in reality it wasn't like that. But I still didn't really believe him because he wasn't giving me any proof or whatever. So I continued to text her and I asked her like, hey, can you show me what you guys were talking about so I know this isn't just some like weird situation. Anyways, she sends me a bunch of screenshots and all of the screenshots she sends me are like, hey, how are you? Hey, what's going on? I miss you. I love you. What's going on? Hey. And then he'd reply, hey, miss you too. What's up? And then she'd be like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And she'd be talking about this and talking about that. He had told me that she had shared some like weird photos with him. Same as like the earlier story where the sunflower was sending like self-harm and stuff and it was affecting him mentally. And so he was like moving away from texting her. Pretty much all the screenshots she sent me were just proof that it was a one-sided relationship. She was making this thing bigger than it really was, and in fact he had just worked with her for some graphic design. I realized that this girl was a little bit unreliable and she saw the situation completely different, and after she sent me all those screenshots I just stopped replying to her because I realized that she didn't get the memo that he wasn't like wanting to date her. After that she started going on my Instagram and commenting on every single photo of him and I or photos on his account of him and I, and she would be like, oh, well, that's really funny. You used to be my favorite YouTuber and you're shady. Warned you about him and you're still hanging out with him and all this stuff. Pretty much every time I posted about him, she would go on this comment rampage telling and replying to my sunflowers being like, oh, she's shady, I don't trust her, she did this out of spite, she tried to ruin my relationship, and she kind of painted this picture publicly that I ruined her relationship when I talked to her about him, it was like nothing, like literally like nothing.
Who the fuck sends a USB from America?
I know.
Postage for that.
but yeah, so then a few months later, like I think the whole issue has been blown over. She obviously was hurt, and I understood, like, I didn't really wanted to reply to her because I could tell she was just a little bit unstable and that she was reacting out of being hurt and maybe feeling jealous, because she did admit in the video that she was very jealous of how quickly him and I started hanging out.
Sounds
and
like someone else.
Anyways, yeah. I posted on Depop some of the clothes that she sent me months ago because they hadn't fit, and I had them in my house for ages, and there was just no point in me keeping them because they didn't fit me. And I posted maybe like 2 items, and she went on a rampage on my Depop saying, what type of influencer are you to sell the clothes that your fans send you? And I was just kind of like,
if any of them don't fit, feel free to, sell them. I don't care.
okay, because I still have that letter where she says, you're welcome to sell any of these on your Depop that don't fit.
Feel free to, sell them. I don't care.
And so I was taken aback. The whole time I kind of just like,
oh, it's like she set you up.
I feel like she just wanted, she was so back and forth. Like half the time she was like, I love you, you're my favorite YouTuber, and then she was like, you're shady, what type of influencer are you? You're trying to steal guys off your sunflowers. And I was just kind of like taken aback, especially because me and that YouTuber are like friends. And so I was just like, oh, whoa. I went to like look at our DMs, but she like blocked me, so I can't like open up the DMs where she sent me like a bunch of hate, being like, who the fuck do you think you are, etc, etc. And it was just so weird because it was always these comments that were like passive aggressive, and she kind of just expected me to cut my good friend out of my life because of some claims that weren't even backed up. And this leads me to the last story. Okay, so these are all like stories of like fans that I've met over the internet. This one is from VidCon 2017, and I was in VidCon over in Melbourne, and every single person I met I had a sweet ass time with. I took so many photos with people, I hugged so many people, gave stickers to everybody, merch to everybody. Every time someone came up to talk to me, I gave them my phone and was like, put in your Instagram, I want to follow you back. Always. I always wanted to get contacts from my sunflowers and friends, and some of my sunflowers I met at VidCon that year are my family now. Like literally, like, shout out Bianca, you are my family right now. Like so many people I met that day was my family because I went out of my way to be like, hey, I want to follow you, like, let's keep in contact. And I did that to every person I meet. Even if they weren't a follower, they just wanted to, like, connect. I always gave people my spam account, was like, here, let me follow. On my spam account, I love to follow people, and then once I look through their photos, I'll decide whether to follow them on my main account, because on my main account, I don't like to have, like, too many accounts to follow, because then it's just, like, clogged up and I can't see, like, photos from my real friends and real family. And also because some of the people I follow, they're on private, and, like, I want to be able to look at their content before wanting to follow them. But anyways, I was in this creator party at the end of the day, end of the night, I guess. I walk up to this one table and this girl grabs my phone from me, and she grabs my phone from me and she takes my phone and plugs in.
Reaction.
Alright, you be her.
Okay.
I told her about this one, okay? So I'm just like, hey, hi everybody, my name is Anna, how's everyone doing today? But, whoa.
That's mine.
But literally, she took my phone, like, grabbed it, snatched it out of my hand. I had my Instagram open because I was gonna ask people what their Instagram was, and that's why my Instagram was open. But instead, she grabs my phone, plugs in her name, but on my phone, it's open on my main account.
Ooh.
And at the time, I only liked to have 420, like, following people, like, 420 amount of people to follow. So, of course, when she grabbed my phone and went on my main account, clicked her name, and followed her.
Straight out, do
it went from 420 to 421, and I was just like, no. I like my account at 420.
Keep it
And
clean.
I would have followed her on my spam account. Like, I would have followed her on my spam account, then gone home and looked through her stuff and be like, oh, maybe I'll follow her on my main account. You know what I mean? But because she snatched my phone out of my hands, I didn't even stand at the table any longer. I walked down the escalator and I hit unfollow. Unfollow because you don't take my phone out of my hands. You don't just snatch it. Like, I would have followed you anyway.
You should get one of these rings.
Oh, I should. But I would have followed her anyway. So guys, like, if you want me to follow you, you meet up with me and you're like, hey, follow me on Instagram, I will. I 100% will. If I've got my phone on charge, if I've got internet, I will 100% follow you on Instagram. But if you snatch my phone out of my hands, I won't. I will not follow you. This is my phone, my baby. Don't take it.
Well, you should get a flip phone. I don't know why I said that.
But I hope you guys don't take this video too serious, and if you're any of these people I'm talking about, just know that I don't have any hate against you guys. If you're Helen, I really don't care about the situation. I'm sure you're old enough now to realize that, you know, I'm sure like everyone was in the wrong some way or another. I wasn't trying to steal your guy who wasn't even your guy. And for the girl who messaged me saying that she killed herself through another account, I can tell that you've obviously like had a really rough time and took it out on me for whatever reason. I wish you could just watch my videos and just like get help from there instead of trying to guilt trip me into replying, because it really messes me up. And if I'm not feeling good mentally, I won't be making those videos. I won't be replying to DMs and to people who send me self-harm through my DMs. They ruin it for everybody else, because every time I get self-harm through my DMs, I just stop checking my DMs. I stop replying to you guys because I'm so scared of seeing those again, because I'm very sensitive and I hate to see any of you guys go through a rough time. I hope you guys don't mind that my girl Shelly was here in this video. I just needed some emotional support so I can laugh about this. You know, you just make me happy. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and no hate to anybody. And if you want a part 2, let me know in the comments below and we can go through all of these stories.
I think we need a part 2 anyway.
But I love you guys so much. Please have a really good day. Bye!
Bye!